Welcome, good evening. Welcome to the 12 Man Podcast live on Facebook, on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, all the popular platforms for your podcasts, and as part of the TalkSport Fan Network. You got me, Steve Jackson. I'm your host for the evening. Got a busy one tonight, lots to talk about, so we'll get stuck in. Got John Donovan with me, even JD.
Now then, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Wonderful. Great week. Yeah, great week as a Boro fan. Yeah, everything's fine.
Good, I'm glad. Back off his sick bed, we've got Mr. Jacob Jervis with us. Evening, Jacob.
Evening, you okay?
Yeah, good to you.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good. Bit more enthusiasm, be all right. Back on popular demand, and I suppose my tech guy now, Mr. Lee McCardle's with us. Evening, Lemon, you all right?
You all right?
Yeah, good to you.
Yeah, not bad.
Good. So, yeah, we've got lots to talk about. I'll go through, and successful week for the Boro. We'll talk through this win at Stoke. Great comeback victory. We'll talk about the win against Preston. Pretty dominant, to be quite honest. Especially against a team that's chasing the playoffs as well. We'll talk about some transfer news, potential incoming in the next 24, 48 hours with Jeremy Sarmiento potentially coming in from Brighton. And then we'll talk about the weekend's game against Norwich. Another test, another tricky one. Team that's starting to hit a bit of form. And also they've got Coventry tonight as well, so want to keep an eye on. So before we start though, are we all right?
Yeah.
Spot on.
Good. Right, we'll start with Stoke, JD. We'll quickly go through that. 2-1 victory. Came back from behind. Not the greatest first half, as the boys admitted. But when you're not playing well, they're the type of games that if you do win, you think they're the signs of teams that are on the up and they're on the move. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was the classic game of two halves. First half, we gave the ball away constantly. We never really bothered them or threatened them really, and we conceded a terrible goal. It was a goalkeeping error. We can't sort of like gloss over the fact that it should have been a relatively easy save from Sol Bryn, but he let it squirm under him. But half time came. Obviously, a few words were given by Salini and Kim Hellberg. A couple of changes made, and we looked at a different team second half.
We did. They say the first half was like we said wasn't the greatest. We see a lot of missed passes, a lot of sloppiness at the back. Even Melanda was giving away a little bit in the back as well. But the first goal itself, obviously, the strike went under Sol Bryn. Obviously, you were in the stands on Wednesday night. What was your view on it? Did you put as much blame on Sol Bryn because there's been a bit of back and forth on it?
Yeah, I said straight away that should have been routine, to be honest, because the shot wasn't a fizzer. It seemed to go at sort of average space. It wasn't blistering. It was at a reasonable position for the keeper to get to. He didn't have to stretch like excessively. It wasn't fingertips, but it just seemed to go under him. You could tell he was disappointed because he banged on the floor and he kicked the ball out ready for the restart. Yeah, he was disappointed. But thankfully it didn't turn out in the end to cost us because we were able to regroup second half and go on to dominate the game.
Yeah, I'd say that was. I think that was the most positive part about it. We didn't let it get to us too much. We dust ourselves off. A good half-time team talk. Obviously got the job done, and we came back out in the second half. Lemon, I know you were there when Wednesday night. Another goal from, I suppose, coming your hero now, Alan Brown.
Yeah.
But a goal and an assist for him on Wednesday night. He's starting to become a quite integral player in this setup all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think he's taken over the Johnny Howson role. I think it was discussed on a previous podcast. Got the same number and everything. He's just wherever he's been asked to play, he's played at right back, right wing back, central. He was on Saturday. He was quite attacking as well. He just no matter where they put him, he seems to do the job, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's popping up in the right places all of a sudden. I mean, we'll talk about him again a little bit later in when we go through the Preston game, obviously from Saturday. But I'll come to you, Jacob, because the guy that got the winner, the guy you've had a massive opinion on, is Tommy Conway. We criticise him for not being in the box as much as he should, but he was in the right place, right time, exactly where number 9 should be. And he took him 2 goals, granted, but he put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, he was in the right position for once. He does struggle to kind of take up them positions usually in the box, but that was a good finish in the end. Scrambled it home, but that was a big win. Would have been a game where first half, I mean, we're very poor, as you said. But teams that go up usually end up getting on the right end of them games, and we did it. So I think it puts us in good stead.
No, you're absolutely right. And it was a big win. Obviously, Tuesday night we saw Ipswich win, we saw Coventry win. It was vital that we got them 3 points on Wednesday night when we went 1-0 down at half time. If you went on social media, you just thought it was all over. You know, there was no chance of promotion, there was no chance of playoffs, there was no chance of anything. But it's funny what 2 hours of football can do to a fan base, and we got the 3 points. It was a massive 3 points, got us back into second position, ready for the weekend. One player that really did impress me, John, when we spoke about him a little bit there with them, was Alan Brown. Is he proving? I know we've said previously Callum Britton was signed at the signing of the season. Is he starting to creep into that conversation?
Well, he's certainly done himself no harm the last 2 games. You know, with not just his performances, but bringing goals into the mix also. But we've seen him throughout this time during his loan spell that he's steady. You know, he's reliable, and like Liam said, we've had to use him in various different positions, and he's done well in every one of them. He hasn't let us down, and it's the type of player, you know, that again similarities to Johnny Howson, like Liam said. That they're the type of players that you can rely on. You know, I mean, put him in goal, he'd probably do okay. To be honest, he seems to be our Mr. Versatile. But he's certainly doing himself no harm in winning a contract at the Boro, and pushing himself in line for a player of the season.
No, you're absolutely right. He's I say one thing I did learn about it. I say when he joined the club, I say my boss is a Mackem, and straight away the first thing he said was he'll do a job for you lot. And him being a Mackem, I thought he's just said that because he's in the Premier League and he's thriving off what they're going through at the moment. But I hate to admit, he's been absolutely spot on. He's been bang on for Boro. I can't even say a game where he's come in or he started where I've looked at him and I thought I'm not a fan of him. I'm not a fan of what he's doing. But he's had an integral part in every game. He's doing a job. You know, he's a proper plodder. He's a hybrid plodder. You put him in a position, he'll just do the job. You know, he's a consistent 6, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. He's been brilliant. And they say I'd go around and ask for your man of the matches, but I'm going to presume. I mean, mine was Alan Brown on Wednesday night. Was anybody else any different on Wednesday? Because I said, for me, it wasn't. wasn't any other. There was a good few performances, but I thought Alan Brown was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, Hackney played well again. Second half, sorry. I don't think we had any players that shone in the first half, but second half, to wrestle the game away from Stoke, I thought Hackney did really well. But because of his contribution and obviously the way he played in the second 45, I'll stick with Alan Brown like you, yeah.
Yeah, no grumbles from you two either.
No.
Alan Brown. Yeah, lovely, happy days. Right, so that was Stoke 2-1 win. I'd say nice and easy. It wasn't nice and easy. It was a difficult game, difficult even at times, but we got through it. I say it was a big win,
Yeah.
big 3 points.
I'd just like to say, Steve, that I know I was saying that their goal was the fault of Sol Brain, but he did redeem himself a couple of times second half. So fair play to the lad. He didn't get his head down. He saved a couple of really good efforts from Stoke in the second half, and kept us in the lead, which is important. You don't play particularly well, but you get 3 points. It's a mark of a team that's going to be up the top end.
Exactly. It's you always say the sign of champions. I don't want to go that far with us, but signs of promoted teams definitely. When they're not on the best game that night, they still find a way to win, and that's exactly what we did. So, yeah, massive 3 points at the Britannia Bet365, what you want to call it these days. Big win. So that put us in good stead for Saturday. 12:30 kickoff. It's another early kickoff against Preston. We always seem to be playing at 12:30 against Preston. It's weird. But let me start with you. You always say you'd rather play first on weekends. Is that to put the pressure on the other two, or is that just to get it out of the way?
I think it's so we don't have the pressure. I think you look back at the history of Middlesbrough, when they let you down, it's usually like after the other teams have played and they've let their fans down. We know we can catch up, say, and we never do it. But if we play first, that pressure's off us. It always seems to work like that. I went the other night when we beat Stoke. I was quite confident because Coventry and Ipswich both won. But I just have this feeling that if they'd have both lost and we knew we could have caught them, would we have won on Wednesday night? I just think it adds a bit more pressure when it's there for you, in front of you. I think by playing first, it gets that out of the way, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's true. I say, I've always been one of those people. I'd rather have points on the board than games in hand. I've always said that. For me, I don't want to play catch up. I'm not a fan of playing catch up.
Yeah,
it's not the greatest thing to do. Especially this time of the season as well, where you start to build a bit of momentum and you're looking at other people. It's just focus on yourself. Focus on yourself and go about it that way. That's the way I look at it anyway. But John, the team came out. He went pretty much same again. No reason to change it. Were you happy with that?
Yeah. Well, Preston, he took out Gilbert and Silvera, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was Stoke, it went unchanged. Anyway, ignore me.
Yes, yeah. No, that's okay. I'll keep you right, Steve. I looked at the team and I could see the shape. I could see what he was sort of looking to do, and I was very pleased with that team. So I was looking forward to a good afternoon, but I didn't think it would be as comfortable as it was.
Yeah, I didn't either. I always expect a bit of a test from Preston. They're always a bit of a pain for me. They're always. I spoke to a Preston fan on Friday morning, through TalkSport, and I was speaking to him about the game, and he was saying he went for a 0-0. Funny enough, he wasn't quite confident, but I always said it's always a bit of a pain playing Preston because they seem to be one of our bogey teams in that league. It doesn't matter what we do, we never seem to get a decent result off them. But obviously in the next 10 minutes you'll find out why I was so wrong on that. I did go 2-0 win on TalkSport. So, but no, I was quite happy. I was quite happy with the team. Jacob, what did you make of the team?
No, I was happy with it, definitely. Well, I think Wednesday showed why Gilbert ran out of chances. He shouldn't get another game, I don't think, from the start of the rest of the season. Silvera had done all right for what we'd seen last season from Silvera. But again, they're not the answer long term, so I think it was the right changes to the team. A little bit worried about Ayling at right back potentially, but helps that they've got 2 6-foot strikers, so they didn't have too much pace up there. And we seem to do it quite clever tactically in terms of Ayling wasn't getting too isolated. Brown was there, or Ayling would tuck in, and Brown would play more as a wing back at times. But no, it worked well, and it was a good lineup.
Yeah, it was. It was really good. It was balanced, quite easy to put together, quite nice. But so we'll get stuck into it. Preston started the better of the two sides to begin with. They say they got into us and got a couple of chances. Bryn had to make a save in the first couple of minutes, which I was a bit. I thought, oh, here we go. Preston couldn't have a goal, but straight after that, John, I say we got comfortable. We started playing our passes, and then we got that first goal.
Yeah, you're right. The first 2 or 3 minutes, Preston put us under a little pressure. They had they think they had a claim for a penalty, but the ball bounced off Target's body. I think it was, hit his hand. But you know what? As daft as it seems, we've seen crazy penalties given, and so you could say we got away with that one, even though it wasn't a penalty by the literal law. We got away with that one. But then, yeah, we took a foothold in the game, and we scored. We scored first after 9 minutes. Great goal, Target. So a Newcastle loanee onto a Sunderland loanee, and Middlesbrough one up.
And that's the first thing I saw doing the rounds. It was a proper North East goal. Boro scored, Newcastle set it up, Sunderland put it in. But I couldn't be you, Lemon. Another goal for Alan Brown. 2 in a row. All of a sudden, he's becoming a bit of a goal machine. In the right place at the right time again.
Yeah, it was just like watching Cafu on Saturday. I thought the way he strode forward and got all of it and stuff. Yeah, he had a brilliant game, great finish. He could have nearly had another one as well.
Should have done.
Yeah.
I was literally just about to say that he should have done. I think it was probably an easier chance than the first one, to be quite honest. He was
yeah.
It was. I actually looked away and I thought, well, that's in. And then when I saw it go wide, I thought, oh god. Yeah, he should have scored, but it didn't matter because we pressed on again, Jacob, and the second goal came pretty much within about 10-15 minutes after that. We were just dominant. It seemed like the first goal got us a bit of confidence, and all of a sudden we were just kicking on, and Preston didn't really know what to do with us.
No, I think there was lots of gaps appearing in the Preston defence. Seemed to be their centre backs just were leaving a big void, and we were playing some really good through balls and balls over the top. I'd argue they played in our hands a little bit at times, but we were very good with the ball. Obviously, the third goal was a calamity from them, but it was only us who looked like scoring. Really, I don't think they, apart from like you say, I think they had a bit of a scramble after the first 45 seconds or something. But apart from that, we were very dominant.
Yeah, I think it was probably about the first 45 seconds when Brynn made that save. But apart from that, I don't really remember much from Preston on Saturday, to be quite honest. A lot of their fans left early after the third goal, but another goal for Tommy Conway, John.
Yeah,
I say much needed. I know he scored later on in the game, another tap in from Castledine's free kick that was saved, but it just shows. We've always said if a striker gets one, he can show that confidence to go and get himself another one, then another one, then another one, and it shows the goal he scored at Stoke. Yes, it was a bit of a scuff, and that's the type of goals that strikers need to get themselves into some sort of form to think and a bit of confidence to go on and get more goals.
Yeah, I mean, his first goal on Saturday was a 1-on-1, which he'd been guilty of missing a few of those this season already. So that must have been a bit nerve-wracking for him. But to put it away, I mean, you could say how pleased he was. I mean, there's a lot of people on social media being giving him gyp because of his lack of goals. Now, I understand that. We've discussed it on the podcast a few times. We've said we'd like to see him more in a central position in and around the 18-yard box, you know, where a number 9 should be. But his game takes him back into our half, back into our box even to help defend, takes him wide on the wings. So really, you know, his input into the team game is brilliant, but we would all like to see more goals from him. And that first on Saturday was a good finish. It settled his nerves. It gave us that 2-goal cushion, and yeah, the crowd were buoyant after that. You know, superb.
Yeah, it was nice little intervals as well. Obviously, you know, he scored just before the half hour mark. That second, and it was nice little intervals. You know, when you have them little breaks in play, 15, 30, 45, they're always good times to score, breaks the half up. And it did lift the crowd to say that the noise started, you know, rising. There was well, you saw the Preston fans, they were very disgruntled by what was going on. But, and then, like Jacob said, John, the third goal, an absolute farce. I don't know what they were doing at the back. They tried playing out, tried to be a bit clever with it. Not something you do when it's 2-0 down. You try and get the ball to the field as quick as possible. But we capitalised. Morgan Whittaker nicked the ball and got his 11th league goal of the season.
Yeah, and you know that capped a really good first half performance from us. I think it should have been more at half time. Personally, you mentioned Alan Brown's miss. Other times where we had an overload of our forwards against their defenders, but we just didn't play the right ball. And it could have been a greater margin, but you know, settle for 3-0 at half time. Well done for Morgan Whittaker for being persistent, nicking the ball and you know, not delaying his shot for too long and putting it away. So yeah, everybody at half time on the concourse ordered an extra beer.
Well, I bet the staff were delighted about that one. So flat pints of beer. So no, it was very joyous, happy Riverside, I can imagine. Very thoroughly deserved 3-0 half-time lead. Going to the second half, one player that did come on, Liam, was Leo Castledine. Obviously, I know we saw him briefly against Stoke, but we got a good look at him on Saturday. You know, what did you make of his home debut?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent. I think the front three were really good at pressing. Really, you were talking about Morgan Whittaker's goal there. The front three were fantastic, and there was one of them where it came from Castledine getting onto the keeper. I think he did everything he was asked to do, apart from not score. He never scored. But yeah, I mean, he's a young kid, and he's just coming to the side. It's a level up. It's going to take time for him to get up to sort of our pace and our style. But yeah, I thought he didn't do anything wrong really for me. He had a decent debut, full debut.
Yeah, it was a good debut. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if that's a measure of things to come from the 20-year-old, then great. You know, we bagged a bargain. So yeah, long may it continue. But he looked impressive. He looked full of confidence. He was willing to take players on. He had that little bit of sort of cockiness about him. You know, without being overconfident. But he looked good. He settled in quickly.
Yeah, he did look good. He looked really good. Like you say, I think people forget how young he is. I know he's played a little bit, obviously a couple of years, obviously in the lower divisions, things like that, come through the Chelsea academy. But he's only 20 years old. He's still learning. He's still developing as a footballer. And yeah, I thought he fitted in quite nicely. He didn't overdo it. He just went with the flow kind of thing. And I say his free kick was a well took free kick. And then Jacob, the man of the moment, Tommy Conway gets his second. Again, getting in the position where the number 9 should be, tap the ball in.
Yeah, right place again for Conway. Poor goalkeeping, I think. But you've got to be in the right place. And another 5 of them will probably be in the Premier League. So he just needs to keep getting himself in the right positions. Being a nuisance, and hopefully it gives him some confidence now. I mean, I don't know how many he's on for the season. Is it 4 or 5, or I don't know what it is now. But 6.
6, I think.
There we go. So if he can get, his aim should be to get over 10 now for the rest of the season. And he could end up with a decent return, but he'll want to do better than he has. But you can never fault his efforts. So, fingers crossed, if he chips in with a few more.
Yeah. Do you know what? I saw something that Sean Wilson put on Twitter, and Sean's one of these statsmen at the club. Conway's only made 57 starts for the Boro, but he scored 19 goals. So, that's a 1 in 3 average. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. No. And I know this season he's had a long spell where he wasn't scoring, but he was still contributing. He was still being effective in the game. Fair play to him. He's come back with 3 goals in 2 games. He's never let his head go down. So yeah, I mean, 19 and 57, good return.
Yeah, 1 in 3 is not bad for a championship level striker. It's not bad at all. I think people forget that because people start looking at the numbers that Mitrovic got, and if you go back, Jordan Rhodes got, and Ross McCormack got, Billy Sharp even. But when it all comes to it, 1 in 3 is about right, because you score 1 in 3 in this league. So you're on 16 goals, and I think that's about right for what you want your striker to get.
Yeah. If you look at them strikers you just mentioned, though, they don't contribute much else to the team apart from scoring goals. Conway's almost been a bit like a Nugent, been running them channels, pulling people apart, which is unfortunate for him. He hasn't had a partner to play up alongside him, and then they could have maybe shared the goals a little bit more, and he could have come in a bit more. But Conway does a lot more for the team than what John Rhodes and Mitrovic and all them did. So,
no, I agree.
Well, you look at Whittaker as well. His contribution, how many goals is it now? 11 for him or 12?
11 in the league, yeah.
Yeah, 11 plus the number of assists, something like 6. Not bad for 28 games. It's all right. Yes, we do need a few more goals from Conway, and hopefully, if Strelic comes back from injury and gets a good run of games, we get some goals from him. So it's not too bad. It's not. It could be better. And I know people are clamouring for a striker that's going to get us a dozen goals for the remainder of the games, but that's a tall order, and that will take a lot of money. So I don't know where the club go on this. I don't know whether we'll look for a striker or we'll stick with what we've got.
Well, I'll mention that in a few minutes, because when we go through our transfer chat, because there was something that did come out about strikers today. So from the local press, so I'll go through that. But no, you're absolutely right. It's what Whittaker's contributed, especially the poor form that he went through as well. He didn't score his first goal until the Ipswich game. Was it Ipswich? Am I thinking right? Or was it West Brom?
Whittaker, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
it
Ipswich.
wasn't. Yeah. So, to go from the start of the season to the Ipswich game, not scoring, to get 11 goals as well, he's been brilliant. He's been absolutely brilliant. He's kicked on. He's nailed that spot down, because I know he shared that spot a little bit with Bergzorg as well. It was, he started, then Bergzorg started, then Whittaker started. Now Whittaker doesn't even let Bergzorg get a sniff, and rightly so, to be quite honest. But he's been brilliant, and
Well, another stat that we can take heart from is the one that in Hellberg's 12 games, no other team over a 12-game period, that 12-game period has scored more goals than us. So it's looking good. It's looking fine. We're doing things right, and we just have to keep our feet on the ground. There's going to be bumps in the road. Just keep your heads. If we lose a game, it's not the end of the world. I agree with what you said earlier on, Steve. Social media had us written off when Ipswich and Coventry won, and we hadn't played until the following night. Yeah, a lot of people said, "Oh, that's a top two gone." Do you know what? A week's a long time in football, and things can change. We might have a little blip, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Don't give up. Never give up. Just keep on behind the team, and they'll give us their best, and hopefully, come May, we'll be in one of the top two positions.
Yeah, absolutely right. And if you want to go about stats, I'm hoping this is still right. When we take the lead in a football match, we haven't lost a game, I don't think,
this season.
Yeah, I think we've won it. I think we've won every game. We've gained a lead in this season. We haven't really
13.
Yeah, 13 games. Yeah, because I think Stoke was number 12. And obviously Preston was number 13. But yeah, it was a start I saw Wednesday night, and obviously we continued on. And I thought that's a hell of a start, and it's a good start going forward as well. Because when you get towards games 35 to 40 in a season, you want to nick them 1-0 wins. You get a goal, on the hour mark, and you just want to, stick in there and just grind your way through it. That's the type of wins that you're going to start getting, because it is going to get more and more difficult. The pressure is going to build up and up and up. It just proves that we can handle that pressure, with 1 goal leads, 2 goal leads, whatever it may be. So, yeah, I thought it was a good start to chuck in, because it's a good confidence booster as well. So, massive win on Saturday. Say 4-0. Preston were blown away, and to say they were a playoff contender as well. It's huge. Because the gap to the playoffs is now. And what was it you put out on social media, John, on Saturday night? The gap to the playoffs is, what is it, 12 points now? Well,
yeah, with 12 points. Yeah, with 12 points ahead of the team in 7th. So yeah, that's four games, a 4-game winning run, and we have to lose all 4 before that team can catch us up. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying that we're home and dried in the playoffs by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a great lead to have, something to hold on to.
No, don't worry, I will hold you to it. People might clip it, but I won't.
Probably.
But you're right. If you look at the league table, obviously there's a bit of a gap between us and Ipswich. Obviously, Ipswich to Millwall, there's only a point between the 3 teams in there. Obviously, Ipswich, Hull, and Millwall. Then there's a gap down to Wrexham, and that's when I suppose for me that's the playoff pack. They're the teams that were doing a bit what we were doing last year, trying to fight with them last couple of spots. There's between Wrexham in 6th and QPR in 12th, there's only 4 points. That's the main chasing pack at the moment. So, it's gonna change. Things are gonna happen. Gaps will increase, decrease, but you'd rather have the points on the board. I don't want to be part of the chasing pack anymore.
The thing is now with Saturday's results, we've give ourselves that cushion above Ipswich, even if they win their game in hand.
Yeah.
We're still 2 points clear. So it's in our hands again, if you know what I mean. We're not looking about them throwing away their game in hand. They can win it, and we've still got that 2 point cushion. So it's in our hands. You know, we've done ourselves a massive favour over the weekend, and Sheffield United done us a favour also.
Exactly, and hopefully Norwich can do us a favour tonight as well. Obviously, Norwich have got Coventry. We'll talk a little bit about Norwich in the next 5 minutes or so. But before I go on to the transfer chat, the last thing I need from you boys is a man of the match for Saturday, because there was a few candidates. I'll start with you, Jacob. Your man of the match for Saturday?
Ayling, I think.
Luke Ayling. Any reason why?
Just thought he's quite solid. Goes up the pitch well at times. Mopped it up when the ball was coming back. Obviously, when they went out of 10, it was just about kind of regaining the ball, then getting it back into high positions. Got himself forward. He scored a nice little flick off a corner, didn't he? But no, I thought he was very solid.
Yeah. Got an assist as well.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing we need to highlight as well. I mean, we'll probably do it next week. The amount of assists that our backline is getting. You know, obviously Target got an assist on Saturday, Luke Ayling as well. Everybody's chipping in, and that's what you need from a promotion team. Everybody needs to chip in. So, you know, we've got great characteristics of a team that's going to be going towards the Premier League. So, yeah, touch wood. You know, 17 games to go. Let's keep going. Liam, your man of the match for Saturday?
I was actually torn between Ayling and Conway. That ball from Ayling, and like Jacob said, he was just solid at the back, and everything he did, he was fantastic. But you kind of want to give it to an attacker, with it being a bit of a goal fest. So yeah. I'd give it to Tommy Conway. I think after that first goal in so long he scored against Stoke, to then go and get another 2, and he should have really had 3, really. I thought he had a fantastic game. Like, the front 3 never stopped running. But I'll give it to Conway just for them 2 goals.
John?
Yeah, Tommy Conway for me. I thought he won us the game. He won us the game with that second goal. He worked it as hard as anybody, and then obviously he wrapped it up with the 4th. So yeah, I'll choose Tommy Conway as my man of the match.
Yeah, I'll echo them comments as well. I think Tommy Conway was man of the match as well. I know he was given on the club website, voted by the fans. I think BBC T's, I think Matt will give to Conway as well. Yeah, there's been too many games where his hard work hasn't been rewarded. Tommy Conway, you know, he's missed a couple of chances, or you know, he hasn't quite got in the areas where he should. And I just thought Saturday it all came together quite well. I thought he never stopped running. I say, like the front 3, like John said, he was brilliant. I thought he was really good. So massive improvement, you know, especially putting 2 goals to his game as well. So long may that continue. Right, quickly talk about transfers. So the talk is now, obviously Birmingham we're in. We talked about him last week, Jeremy Sarmiento. Birmingham were in. It was like Boro duped them into it. You know, if you get a bid acceptable, see how much it is, and then we'll just match it. You know, and just try and pull him here. Looks like it's being accepted. It looks like he's had his medical. So in the next 24, 48 hours, expect that one to get announced. Loan with an obligation to buy 3.2 million. You happy with that, John?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're right. We said last week on the podcast, when news broke that Birmingham were now favourites to sign him, and some fans on social media, you know, were blaming the club. But these things happen. At twists and turns in transfer sagas. You know, one club or the agent plays one club off against the other to get the best deal. We just said, let's see what happens, and it's turned out to be the case that we've won the race. So yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased. I hope he gets announced. Excuse me. I hope he gets announced as soon as possible. Yeah, it'll give us another boost.
Yeah, definitely. It's in an area where We do. I know players are coming back. We say it just strengthens our forward thinking ideas as well. But yeah, we spoke last week. It sounded like he was keen on coming to Teesside, to the other side. And John's probably right. He's probably duped his agent into getting Birmingham or someone to put something in, and we've gone right. That's the cost. That's how much it's going to take to get him here. And we've pulled it off, and watch it all go
Yeah,
wrong.
It's what agents do. They put the pressure on to one club to make a move like firm and quickly by playing them off against another club. It happens. It's happened against us in the past. But anyway, we've got our man. It's somebody that Kim Hellberg said he was aware of. I don't know whether he was joking when he said he tried to sign him for Hammarby, but if that's the case, then he knows the player's strengths. He knows all about him. So yeah, hopefully he'll do well at Middlesbrough.
Yeah, he mentioned that. I think I can't remember if it was before or after the Stoke game. He'd give it a bit of a mention. Yes, I'm aware of him. So for me, if managers are coming out and saying yes, I'm aware of him, something must have been said to him. I know he said on Sky Sports News last week he just coaches the team, he just does his job, but he still mentioned him. Managers don't tend to mention players much if there's no interest or no knowledge about him. So yeah, hopefully we'll get that sorted out next 24, 48 hours. Another line that came out, didn't come out of the club. Obviously, it was a local press that commented on this. Said there is a search out there for a new striker with a week to go, but the stance is they won't move unless the move's right, which puts no pressure on us. I know we've mentioned about adding goals to our game across the field, having that reliable striker. One word out from all three of you. I'll start with you, Jacob. Do we need a striker? Yes or no?
No.
Liam?
Possibly.
John?
Yeah, I'd like if the club were able to do it financially to bring in someone who would chip in with the goals and just strengthen our position, strengthen our chances. But if it's not possible, then I think we've got enough firepower within our squad to achieve our aim. But if we can get another striker in, then it will give us a boost.
That was the longest word I've ever known. But yeah, I'll get that. That's fine. No, that's absolutely fine. If the deal's right and the right player becomes available, I think we should have a look. But I wouldn't push it too hard. Like I say, we've got players coming back. Look like Strelic is no longer homesick, and he was seen at Riverside on Saturday. He's behind the bench with the players pre-game.
Well,
so
Wrexham have been linked with a guy from France, haven't they? For is it 12 million or something like that? And also they've been linked with Alan Armstrong, and the fee mentioned in some some papers is 15 million pound for Alan Armstrong. Now, don't get me wrong, right? 15 million quid. If it's guaranteed to get you over the line at the Premier League, then obviously it's a snip. But it's a hell of a gamble. It's a hell of a gamble for 15 million pound with no guarantees. So I think Alan Armstrong's a good Championship striker, but I think he's overpriced at what was mentioned in the papers. So yeah, let's see what the club do. Let's see what the club do. The recruitment have done well over the last few years, by and large, and let's see what they can sort of pull out in the last week of the window.
I know. I mean, if they're going after him, imagine what they do if they got Adam Armstrong as well. That'd be something.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Alan Armstrong used to play. Yes, sorry. Oh man, I tell you what.
I thought Alan Armstrong's jacking the job in that too. He's going to get his boots back on.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, you keep me right, Steve.
Yeah, you keep me right. I'll keep you right.
This old brain's failing.
Well, that's not far behind you. But no, you're absolutely right. You know, it's starting to show that there is clubs out there that are going to start to gamble on bringing players in January. I think Birmingham are linked with a winger from, is it Alaves in Spain for 20 odd million. It's a lot of money, that, for a player that's no one knows about. I can't imagine many Birmingham fans will sit there and go, "Yeah, I know who he is." That's a lot of money. That's a big, big gamble for a team that's 13th in the league as well. That's a lot of money to chuck it. Mid-table finish. But yeah, I'm glad our chairman's not like that. The word is we're looking at strikers, but we won't push. You know, if the right one becomes available and he's at the right price and fits into what we've got, then yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Well, that's another narrative, isn't it? That clubs use that they don't want to show their hand and to appear that they're desperate for a particular position, because then that just raises the price. So yeah, we might be being cute here by saying it's not necessary. If one comes along, yeah, we'll go for it. We might be being clever. We don't know. Let's just see, like I say, what the last week of the window brings.
Exactly. And I say we'll have a chat. Does it close at 7 o'clock next week? Have I read that up?
Yeah, I think it does.
There you go. So we'll when we have a chat next week, we'll give you live reaction of what's going on and what's happened, and we'll have a chat about it then. But let's move on to Saturday. We'll quickly preview the Preston. Wow, I'm talking about Preston again. Norwich, who are just coming out as we speak against Coventry. Norwich are a funny team, John. I have bad memories about Norwich. Good memories in good away trips and stuff like that. Carroll, I always still think about Wembley. I'll always still think about Wembley with them lot. But they're a team on the rise. They say went to West Brom, won 5-0 in midweek. They're starting to click under Philippe Clement. What kind of Norwich team are you expecting to come to Riverside on Saturday?
Yeah, it'll be one that's sort of got recent good results that have taken them out of the bottom three. Obviously, Josh Sargent will be missing, so that's a good player that we don't have to face.
Yeah,
but I mean, they were like us, one of the outsiders for promotion at the start of the season, but because of the poor start and Liam Manning got sacked, they've found themselves clawing the way back. I think it's too difficult for them to get anywhere near a playoff spot, but they're still a difficult team. So we just have to be cautious. But I'm liking the fact, that we have finally got a full week where we can work with the players, get some more players back from injury. Just do the clever stuff. Don't overtrain. You shouldn't need to at this time of the season. Massages, stretches, light training, and a lot of work in the tactic room and look at the opposition. So we've got all week to do that. So I'm hoping Kim will get them well prepared for Saturday.
Well, John just turned into Mr. Motivator then. Bit of massage, bit of light training. No, you're absolutely right. So to be fair, this time of year, the games are coming a little fast anyway, aren't they? So
we all love a light massage, Steve.
Why does it have to be light?
Well, yeah, get those elbows into your calves and your hamstrings. Yeah, right. Or
I wonder where you're going when you've been always saying, I thought, oh God, this is turned. But anyway, we'll move quickly on. Jacob, what are you expecting from Norwich at the weekend?
Should be, well, obviously, unless they get smashed tonight, they should be pretty confident. They're on a good run. I think they're the second in the form table, I think. In the last 6, I think it was. So, yeah, they should come with some degree of confidence. Obviously, they're playing a team that has also won a lot of games. So it could be, again, have the potential to be an open match. Both teams might go for it in terms of positive play. Like I say, it depends on tonight's result, really. I fancy them to get something against Coventry, actually. So let's hope the big Coventry, and then they do a loss and they get beat Saturday. That'd be nice.
Well, it's just cool there. Coventry's last 6 away games, they haven't won any of them. Drawn 2, lost 4.
Yeah.
So there you go. They're starting to. I'm not saying they're going through a blip, but they are starting to feel. They're obviously going to feel the pressure at some point. They're starting to feel the pressure from the chasing back. We're now 3 points behind. So, can Norwich capitalise on that? We don't know. But changes wise, Liam, would you make any changes for the Boro? Obviously, I know there's potential of Sarmiento coming in. But for me, the players that are in, you leave them in and then introduce players slowly.
I think Preston were there for the taking on Saturday, and he knew that, and he played a more attacking style of football and formation and all that. I think it'll be a little bit more defensive. It won't be as open as it was. I don't think he'll set us up like that anyway. I think maybe he might keep Castledale. I don't know. He might put another midfielder in or something. I think he'll probably see what happens tonight, see how they get on, because they are like you say, second in the form guide. They're playing well at the moment. They're in that relegation battle, aren't they? They're the team that you expect are going to start winning and climbing up the table out that bottom pack. But I don't think it'll set us up as attacking as we did on Saturday. I think there'll be a bit of a sit back on that.
Yeah. I did notice that on Saturday. We seemed to take like a 5-yard step up the pitch, and I don't think Preston dealt with that very well. And they paid the price, and so we banged a few in. We should have scored more than 4, to be quite honest, but I felt like we took our foot off the gas after about 70 minutes. So, but I completely agree with you on that one. So, that being said, I'll start with the man that predicted a 4-0 win last Saturday.
And a Stoke 2-1 win.
Yes, you did.
Sorry, but a 2-1 at Stoke. So I've got 2 right. I just haven't combined them with a goal scorer.
I know. I sat there on Saturday and I thought, if he didn't say anything more, he just said, because I said Conway on for Stoke, but I said 3-1. I thought if he just said a goal scorer, we'd have a few more quid in the key. But never mind. I'll start with you though, John. Keep the run going.
Yeah, hopefully. I think I'll just mention about potential changes. I don't think Sarmiento will come straight in. I'm not sure of his level of match fitness, so he might sort of start on the bench. I would return Britain and swap Castledine, put him on the bench, and put Brown back into a midfield position. But other than that, leave it as it is. So just the one change for me, I think, Britain, and Castledine moves to the bench. We'll see. Kim's the expert. I'm just a man who stands at the back of the North stand, losing his voice. But a prediction you want? Well, I'm going to go 3-1 Middlesbrough, and a goal scorer, Tommy Conway. Keep the run going.
Yeah. You mentioned about you being stood at the back of the North stand shouting. I'll come to that in a second. Liam, I'll come to you for your prediction.
Have you had complaints like?
No, not yet. Go on,
I'll go for 2-0. And I'll go with Whitaker again. So I'm feeling he's going to get another goal. I think 2-0. We haven't had too many clean sheets of late, but we aren't doing too bad in the goals conceded. I think we're second or third, aren't we, for the least amount? So I think a clean sheet at home, second one in a row, and 2-0. Yeah,
that'd be good. I think we need to start getting our goal difference up a bit as well. I know we're up there with Ipswich and Coventry, but we're still behind Ipswich by a few goals. So I think we need to start just boosting up a little bit. I think got clean sheets to help with that. Jacob, come with you.
I'll go 2-0 as well. Malanda.
Providing he's got his teeth sorted out. Because I think there's still a couple left on the Riverside pitch after Saturday.
I'll give him my spare set.
There you go. If you're listening, Adelson, contact Johnny. He'll sort you out with some teeth. So there you go. I'm going to go 3-0. And Hayden Hackney to get a goal. Yeah, I like Hackney's due a goal, so I think he'll score on Saturday. And you mentioned about being stood at the back of the North Stand, belting your songs out as you do, which I do miss dearly. There's been a couple of mentions about the atmosphere in the North Stand. Obviously, there's a few people saying that they're trying to sing while in the North Stand and they're not getting the response that they want, and they only hear it from. What do you make of the atmosphere in the North Stand at the moment?
It's all right, but it could be miles better. It could be loads better. I just think we need. There's been people in that stand who've been there from day one. They've had the season tickets 30 years, and as a result, they're going to be less inclined to stand up and sing their hearts out. So really, I think the North Stand could improve if we get a few more, shall we say, more energetic younger supporters in who want to really sort of get involved. We had a spell where the 18 to 21 age bracket, people who were in the North Stand from with families from the start of the Riverside era, when they got to 18-year-old, they were classed as an adult. They didn't get the 18 to 21 in the North Stand, and that caused a lot of dispersion. People moved to where the 18 to 21 price brackets were within the stadium, and that did rob a lot of fans from the North Stand. Thankfully the club have now got made the decision that the 18 to 21s can sit anywhere in the stand. So I think to improve the North Stand, we've got to get a few more people who are really wanting to get behind their team and get them closer together. Migrate, if they want to move stands, migrate into the North Stand towards the back of block 23 and 21. And to be fair, to the left of us at block 25, there's another group there developing. So we just need that to encourage people to move into our stand, because obviously the South Stand, good atmosphere from it. You hear the drum, that sort of spurs everybody on, and you can hear the South Stand, and the North Stand bounces off that. But we've got to create more atmosphere within our own stand by just growing numbers, really. But we can do that. The lads who are there now, they range from 14-year-olds to 60-year-olds. So there's a lot of sort of representation of the fan base there. But we do need more in terms of numbers, because it only takes 30, 40 people stood in a similar area singing together creates a hell of a noise, and more people join in, and that's all it takes. You look at the away section, they've got a singing section now when we get our away allocation, and that's always at the back of the away stand. And it's about 100 seats in total. Always sells out first, always busy, and always noisy. So where we are at the back of the North, I think the position is right. I don't want to move to the front. I don't feel it's fair that we ask people to give up a seat that they might have had for 30 years just so that we can sit down at the front and create atmosphere. I don't think that's fair. I think it's a bit disrespectful. We need to grow numbers where we are. And if we stand an up all game, it doesn't impact anybody who doesn't want to stand up. It doesn't impact their view because there's nobody behind us. Yeah, so that's my take on it. We just need a few more numbers, and hopefully, in the close season, we can we can recruit some more fans to come and join us and make it bigger, because it's a great atmosphere. I love it. I really do love it, because it's getting better season on season. So we just need to grow it more.
Yeah, no, there is. I mean, obviously, I only went to the first game of the season, so I can't really comment on the rest of the season. But I say each time I've been standing with you boys for years now, and yeah, the atmosphere. And people always say, "Oh, it depends on what kind of game it is," and I've seen it quite up there when there's been full houses. I've seen it bouncing up there when there's been half empty. Like you said, it only takes a good group of people just to connect and get singing, and all of a sudden you've got the stand bouncing. Like you say, if we can connect with the ones in block 25 or the ones in block 21, all of a sudden along the back of the north stand is singing. That just feeds down, and they say all of a sudden it starts, and you've got an atmosphere going, and that's one stand going, and all of a sudden that goes on to the east stand, and they start singing, because obviously it's got the younger lads in there with the mums and dads, and they want to get up and excited and start singing their hearts out, and they'll start thinking about, oh, I want to move over there at some point, and that's how it all starts, and that's how it all generates. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It only takes, say, 20, 30 people to get some songs going, and all of a sudden you bang, you're away.
Yeah, and safe standing, real seating, whatever you want to call it, that helps as well. Because you stood up and you've got that barrier in front of you for safety. But you stood up, you feel more involved in the game. Get that in the north stand, and it'll encourage people who maybe who maybe don't want to stand without there being any support in front of them. If that support's there, they'll get behind the team. We see it at the away games. It's not just the youngsters who are standing up supporting. It's all age groups, and that's because of those clubs that have the rail seats or the safe standing. It helps the atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think people forget about the safe standing areas. It's not saying that if you're there, you have to stand the whole game. The seat isn't taken away from you. The seat's still there. So if you still want to have, every 5 minutes when you come back and you've got your half-time pie, whatever you've got, you can still sit down. It's not restricting you from doing that. It's just giving you a safer option, isn't it, to stand up?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be the full the full stand. If it doesn't have to be the full north stand or the full south stand, because we've been to I've been to Cardiff, I've been to QPR, Norwich. They've got it just in the top 10, 12, 15 rows, and that works. So the expense of for the club, rather than sort of doing both north and south, the whole stands behind the goal, which would be very expensive. If we go up, then obviously we'll have the money to do that. But just do the top 10, 15 rows from the back of both north and south stands, and encourage the noise, encourage people to get into that area and get behind the team.
Absolutely right. And it's also a good little rail if if you're struggling to get towards the top of the stand, just grab onto the railings and just pull yourself up and give me sound. No, I like that idea. No, it's good. But yeah, I completely agree with you. You don't have to stand because there's railings there. I mean, I'm just looking at the Norwich game now. They've got safe standing. There's actually a few people sat down in them areas, so it's not restricting you to just stand or just sit. It's giving you an option. And I've been in away ends, like you said, John, where I've had the safe standing railings, and it does enhance the atmosphere, because it does encourage a bit more standing, and it's done in a safe and an easy manner, and it puts your mind at rest. I was going to say it stops you going forward, but the amount of times I've tipped someone over them railings because we've scored a last minute winner or something, something you do, isn't it? You know what I mean? So, but you're absolutely right. It's something. It's something in front of you, something behind you. It's effective. It's easy. So no, you're absolutely right. So if you want people to come and stand with you to create the atmosphere on Saturday, John, where do they need to go?
North Stand, Block 23. Get in the back rows. Come and join us. Get the atmosphere going. Get behind the team. Just keep positive. We're in a fantastic position. Let's push on from now. As fans, as a team, as one. Let's just go for it.
There you go. That's all you need, isn't it? And I think that's a good way to finish it, to be quite honest. And I'll leave it there. Gentlemen, thank you very much for popping on and chatting with me, giving up your time. Much appreciated. And to everyone that likes, comments, subscribes, we've got subscribers going up and up on all our pages. Listenings are going up all the time. Get in touch if you want to get on and have a chat with us. We're not a closed group. We're always happy to get people involved and stuff. So yeah, and spread the word as well. And
get in touch. Get in touch if you want a guest on our podcast. Yeah, we're open. Yeah, it's fine. It's good. It's as long as you're not swearing every 2 seconds and get us taken off air. But yeah, come on and join us. Everybody's opinion counts.
Exactly. We're all in it together. So yeah, if you want to come on, just drop us a message on our pages, and we'll certainly get you on. We'll arrange that for you. So yeah, if you got the game Saturday, get yourself Block 23 towards the top, and yeah, enjoy it. Wrap up, because it's going to be another cold one again, as it always in January in the Riverside. But anyway, yeah. So arrivederci, up the Boro, be seeing you. Toodaloo.